Hey guys, I'm so live right now. That was a surprise, wasn't it? Hey guys, I like surprise. It just started now. How are you guys doing tonight? Didn't have any much plan to start it. This was very random. So it's good to have the smaller audience then. Hi guys, hi Fletcher, hi. Hi, RK, is that right? Hey guys, hey Jonathan. Milo's, how do I say that name? From Australia. It's gotta be a morning time over there. Hi guys. I sometimes really wish that there was some kind of audio that I can listen to. So it's not like me always like talking. Let me see. Oh my gosh, so good to thank you guys. Thank you so much for joining. That was like there's no notice. It was complete surprise. Hi. Oh my god, it's going too fast. Hi. Oh, thank you. Hey Joshua. Hi Nicole. So today I didn't have much just preparation none. I actually didn't even think I was gonna join it at 10 p.m. in Chicago right now. But I really missed you. I think it's been a while since my last live, right? Someone gotta like remind me. It is a funny thing, like you would think doing YouTube makes you more used to camera, but actually as I'm doing it more, it makes me a bit more even like embarrassed. So I've been like a bit more doing less of live than in the beginning, but I really also do like this time because it's very spontaneous and I also get to know a lot of you through this time. So yeah, thank you for joining in. I didn't have much agenda. I mean, I don't think we need an agenda to have live, but I just wanted to talk about an issue that just happened in South Korea. You know, as you guys know that I am not an entertainer. I'm a human rights activist. I fight for freedom. So yeah, I'm sure you guys are not coming here for some funny entertainment. I just wanted to tell you the recent development that is happening in South Korea with my fellow defectors. South Korea's parliament just criminalized the law to ban North Korean defectors like myself sending balloons that contains a lot of leaflets and truth to North Korea. And if you do that now in South Korea, that defectors can send to prison up to 3 years and have to pay fine for $27,000. And this is a huge thing, guys. South Korea used to be a flourishing democracy. It was a beacon of hope in a lot of Asian countries. And I had no clue that how quickly South Korea was going to change into this another authoritarianism state. And as I always said, like North Koreans are being treated like second citizens in South Korea. And you know, while all South Koreans can have freedom of speech, but not us. We cannot practice that. As long as we practice freedom of speech, we are going to send to jail in South Korea. And so this is really a depressing news, but this is also time for us to all awake in America because right now, thank you, Scott. Thank you so much. So right now, the Moon Jae-in administration in South Korea is very happy about Biden got elected. And of course, I mean, Moon Jae-in is an extreme liberal, and of course, he wants the liberal side to win. And Moon Jae-in has like every intention to please Kim Jong-un. And I'm just so scared that this is also the step that Americans are gonna take, which means, you know, preserving peace for dialogue with North Korea, and also do not do anything that irritates dictator. And this is like I'm sure we have to give time to see what the Biden administration is gonna do, but this is definitely a concerning thing for me to how where this is going. Anyway, so that was on my end update that I had for you guys. And if you guys had any questions, I'm happy to answer anything. So will they still be able to send balloons secretly? You can technically, but if you get caught, you'll be sent to prison for 3 years, and you have to pay fine up to $27,000. And most of North Korean defectors do not have that cash with them, so mostly they are gonna all go to jail. And actually, a lot of them already been sent to jail for the same thing, sending balloons. And this is really upsetting because this is the same thing that the Germany did when they were divided. When during the Cold War, they were sending balloons to informing each other. And this is something, the ancient method is still banned suddenly in the land of free in South Korea. Thank you so much, Cold Summer. So have you heard it was leaked 2 million communists invaded Western? And I actually have not heard about that. I would love to know more about it. So shows your beautiful dress. I know, is this so funny? I'm wearing this skirt here, guys, but I had nowhere else to go outside. It's so sad. But I have a news though. I'm going to beautiful sunny Miami with Evelyn. Does any of you know Evelyn, guys? If any of you are Evelyn's fan, we are gonna go take a girls trip, and I know we will take all the cautions, but we are trying to get out of this Chicago cold and go somewhere warm for a few days. And maybe I can update you guys there with Evelyn when I'm there. Newshan TV, so you're sorry. Thank you so much, Newshan. Mike, you're so funny. So I always think like whenever you guys join me here, I think of you like my friends, and I want to talk to you all my personal lives. And maybe someday I can talk to you everything about what is going on in my personal life. So QUE, how I say that name, sorry. This is why your videos are so important. Your message is becoming known to the world, and people will expect action from politicians. Please continue. Thank you so much, guys. And thank you just for watching. Pure Pretty Princess. Merry Christmas, and me. I put the website to teach North Koreans English that you linked in your How to Have North Koreans video. They don't answer. Should I keep emailing? Oh, that's it. That's funny. They are really, TNK are really usually good at responding. Okay, I will actually, can you email me? It's park@yeonmi.com. I will connect you to the founder of TNKR. He should be very responsible usually with the messages. Carl, have you heard about the Venus Project or listened to any Jacques Fresco lectures? If going to Florida, please visit the Venus Project. I haven't heard about it. You gotta teach me someday about it. I'm thinking about. I've been to Florida a few times. I spoke at their university before, but I'm not like used to having fun and having a free time. So let me know if you have any tips what to do in Miami. Evelyn is also very new there, so we are not sure what to do, and also we are not sure what is open there. So maybe we just have to go to park and walk around in the sun. Thank you guys for liking my English accent. It is so funny. I still can't get rid of the accent. So let's see. That was something about North Korea. I think someone asked, is there any pop culture in North Korea, Alex? So how do you like define pop culture, guys? So this is like what is so sad about the system is When I was in North Korea, I didn't even know what classical music was. Never heard about Beethoven or Mozart, Bach, any of those people. And actually, I met the musicians, the pianist, who actually played one of the pieces of a European composer, and that was the reason why he was sent to prison camp. So even this artist is doesn't have the freedom to play the things they can play. Therefore, I never knew what jazz was or hip hop was. I remember like seeing someone's like hip hop, and I literally back then thought someone just speaking very, very fast. And I couldn't understand that was like a genre of music. And there's no such a thing also called a genre either. We don't have, ballad or pop or none of that. Just one monotone of North Korean music that every song has dedicated their royalty to Kim Jong Un and Kim family. So not officially, there's no sort of thing, anything like that. But underground, though, people do like to listen to South Korean K-pop music and Western bands. And I heard a lot of women love the Beatles. I didn't get to hear them when I was in North Korea, but I heard them after my escape, and I loved it. So it's like course look up America China Uncensored. They post a video about the 2 million communists say, oh my gosh, guys, do you guys follow China Uncensored? So Chris and I are really good friends. We met a few years ago in New York, and his wife, we go out like have Korean barbecues in New York, and he and I gonna have an interview tomorrow. So I will keep you posted. I did not know that some of you follow China Uncensored here. What a small world, guys. Chris is wonderful. I will let him know that you guys said hello. So, how do you think we should approach the topic of North Korea and China with the children? Oh, that's a good question. I think what we have to do is make North Korea or China a topic that is relevant to children's lives. Who knew that China was going to be this much a problem to Western civilization today? And I think North Korea is the same thing right now. All of us thinking, oh, how the heck North Korea gonna ever affect us? But if we do not stop Kim Jong-un with his development of nuclear weapons, in 10 years, 20 years, that will be the biggest problem American have, right? I mean, Obama already said 4 years ago when he left the office that North Korea was the biggest problem that America was facing. And North Korea, once they become too big to fail, actually they're already there almost, then we have to live with our rest of our lives, which is going to be our children, with the threat from Kim Jong-un every day. Like Kim Jong-un used to threaten, right? Blow up Hawaii, Guam, Washington, D.C., Chicago, L.A., San Francisco, New York City. He threatened so many like attacks on America, and that will be our daily life. Like now you think why North Koreans are probably the Kim Jong-un, that kind of threat, but guys, like you guys have been putting up with that too. And that's what we are thinking too, like what's wrong with you guys that you are okay that when Kim Jong-un keep threatening and your children's future saying that he's going to make the sea of fires in American land, and America still don't pay attention to it. And like I don't know how long we can afford to do that once Kim Jong-un reaches that capability to make all of us go into dust. So to children, I guess we should not like alarm them, but we also have to make the topic relevant and let them know what's going on in the world. Because I think sometimes I just don't know. I've been living in America, and people are really so focusing on what's going on in this country, and they forget like we all coexist. It's some kind of dance that we are doing all together in this earth. And you cannot solve every problem while just focusing on what's in front of you. And I think North Korea, China is part of that solving whole that big puzzle, that problem that we are facing. So Lorraine, yeah, is how I say. No, from Harbor City, California. I knew nothing about North Korea life until I began watching your videos. Thank you so much for watching videos, guys. So let me grab another question here. The problem is like questions go so fast up. Who's Dunlock? So how do North Koreans legally live in North Korea? I remember you said your mother visited you in a previous video. Oh, so yeah, my mom is already escaped with me and lives in South Korea. That's why she can visit me, but nobody in North Korea can legally visit me flying to America other than like few diplomats has a right to. Most of North Koreans do not even know the word like passport. I didn't even know that freedom of movement was some kind of human right. Never knew that other countries people had the right to leave their country, but so North Koreans, most of North Koreans don't have the right, but few, the top elite do has the right. Like Kim Jong Un went to Switzerland studying. His mom was in other countries too, so few have that privilege to move around. So Ben asks, what do you think about Hunter Biden? Much? This is like, that like you can never win by talking about politics. That is a sad truth about it. You can never please anyone. And it's not like I'm trying to please anyone. I'm telling always what I think is right at that moment with the limited of my knowledge. But something about this country right now is like as long as they hear something they don't like, they just trash that person and they don't want to listen to anything that remotely challenging their own ideology. And this is really sad. Like people have such a low tolerance to disagreements, and people just so get worked up right away. I think, and in the beginning, I have been trying to talk more about what I thought of American politics, despite like even though my eventual goal is like freeing North Koreans and freeing other people who are oppressed. Doesn't even matter or North Koreans or not. But yet, by talking about politics, it was very tough how a lot of people get so emotional about it. I don't like the parts where the politicians say like vote like your life is depending on it. But in America, it's somehow I think people think this is everything. I don't know how to put this for you guys. So I think this politics in America is overrated. I don't think government has that much power as much as we think. Or I don't know, depending who you are, I think individuals still have way more power in free democracy. So I would rather focusing on individuals and rather than the government. I don't know if that makes sense. So why did you read the Marx the chapter many times and Alice shrugged once, or did you not finish it? Well, yeah, that is my confession. I did not finish Alice Shrugged. I read the shortened version. I read the full. Haven't finished it, but I have to. It's always I was meant to. And what is your favorite American food? My American food is. It's so many. I don't think I have tried it all. Honestly, I think American food is like, what's American food? I like salad now. I like salmon. I like sandwich. I like hamburger. But as soon as I say that, like people say, "Oh, hamburger is not American food. This is not American. There's no such a thing American." So, as I told you, like it's very scary to say like what American is. So Yeah, pizza. I know. I actually had a Shack Shack burger yesterday. Uh, so hi and me. What are your favorite books? So many. I have. Oh my god, I have so many books I loved and changed in my life. I think books has been continuous my, friends and my motivation and my teacher guiding me through so many different things. But if I have to only give a few books to my child or a few books that I can bring to North Korea, that would be, of course, like 1984 and Animal Farm by George Orwell. But there are so many other wonderful books too. But I don't think any book has changed my life more than George Orwell has. So let's see. Oh, thank you guys. So thoughts on Otto Warmbier. Okay, so I was meant to do this video about the American student who was captured by North Korean authority when he was visiting Pyongyang and unfortunately passed away and he didn't live, right? I think a lot of new Otto and I actually know his parents very well. I actually have visited his parents' homes and got to know his mom and father. They're really just wonderful people. I think the main thing about Otto was he was a political victim. So I think North Korea needed some kind of leverage to negotiate with America. And Otto went North Korea obviously as a tourist. And I've been keep saying in the past, like, don't go to North Korea. Why would you go? And when he actually captured in the beginning by North Korean authority, I'm so sorry, but then I didn't have as much compassion. I was like, oh, I warned you guys all throughout my career. Why do you go to North Korea? You do not do anything good there. But he was also not as informed, and he was as an American university student, didn't get to see the real darkness until then. And North Korea accused him being a spy as a disguised university student. Then they, I think, sentenced him for the life sentence because they said he was trying to steer the banner of Kim family. So you guys think like why that is such a crime in North Korea? I told you that Kims are like gods in North Korea, and like if there's a newspaper, like the book, right? Like if this is not me, and the Kim family is up there, and by mistake you didn't see this page and you saw only the other page, and then you read it, and if you get caught, what happens to you is not just with you, like yourself, the 3 generations of your family, including you, sent to prison camp, and sometimes a lot of execution happens. So it was like very similar. Some Christians like treat Bible in a very special way, right? They don't put like, of course, on a trash on top of it. They treat it in a more holy way. But North Korea took it in a very extreme level. They even treat anything that has to do with Kim's differently. When they even write the words, they only write letters, special letters with the Kim. Even in the written form, is very different. So I think that he was trying to steer the banner or trying to take it. Don't know. We got the very footage that it doesn't really show clear, and North Korea, of course, accusing him for steering the banner. And I think it was a lesson that all we had to learn is you can't look at North Korea as the common sense that we have here, and also the punishment that Otto had will show the cruelty. Like imagine this is how they were treating white men from the most powerful country in the world, USA, that way. Can you imagine what they're gonna do to their own citizens? So in a way, I think Otto sacrificed his life to show that cruelty of this regime, and we have so much to learn, and we have to remember, I think, Otto's sacrifice. So thank you guys. Ben Sick, is that right? Steve, please read the book Loser Think by Scott Adams. Okay, I will definitely check that book out. Loser Think. Got it. So let's see the other question. Somebody said like, why can you say some words in Korean? I can speak in Korean, but I'm not sure how many of you can speak Korean here. And also like with Korean, I'm like in between North Korean and South Korean, so my accent will be also funny there. It's so sad, like after leaving my country at 13 and going to China, Mongolia, South Korea, America, like I haven't mastered even one language yet. Guys, I like sort of speaking few languages, like very mediocre way, and haven't mastered one fully. So when people say like, "Oh, I only speak English," it's like you only at least like know how to speak English properly. I think that's like more than enough. I can speak Chinese, but not like native speaking. Thank you, Ulf, again. Merry Christmas. Yeah, so what are you guys doing for Christmas? As I told you, I'm going to Florida with Evelyn during the Christmas. She just texted me so many times, like saying she has no place to go. And of course, like I have my sister and mom in South Korea. I don't have any family in America. So both of us are like, what do? We have no family here. And this is like the factors have the loneliest time. When everyone has family, usually defectors do not have anyone with them. So we decided to have a girls trip. So thank you. 357 Magnum, right, Bob? The CCP's days are numbered. Trump will have to bring them down. Did not lose. Trump have 88% Twitter followers, but only got, that's interesting. Yeah, I really hope it's not just, I just think whoever comes to the office in America, I mean, Biden is going to be there now. I do think they need to take China seriously. It's not a joke. When I see the politicians just sell out their country, and it's such like not that much money on this, like to the lobbyists, and they are willing to give up this legacy that we have received from our ancestors, this freedom that we have, is so precious. And yeah, I really hope that we defend our rights here and do not become like South Korea. The thing that South Korea became today is that even though that was a very flourishing democracy, Moon Jae-in is very, of course, in bed with Xi Jinping, and therefore in bed with Kim Jong-un, and not afraid of taking away individual liberty. And I just hope that South Korea trend doesn't repeat in America. That's my hope. So, Eloy, what do you think about Trump claiming election fraud? Guys, I know like if I talk about like the T word or any politics, you guys a lot of you gonna hate me because I can never get the right answer for all of you. But actually, I'm not afraid of being criticized, so I'm gonna just say what I think. I do think, oh my gosh, I gotta be careful. So I'm sure like there was some kind of fraud, but I'm sure it is every election there's of course some kind of error happens. It's a huge country, but the extent of it is unclear. And what Trump team is trying to do is trying to figure out the extent of that fraud. But the thing is, when the Democrats keep saying this election was clear and there's no fraud, let's move on, let's just take the loss and go move forward, it's not the point like what I was thinking. I think, at least for me, what I want to know is I just want to know the extent. I'm sure maybe as what Democrats say, right, the extent is not going to be as bad, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Then that will make me more have faith in this system of this election or on this democracy that we have in America. But the fact that you can't even talk about the any kind of fraud, and as soon as you talk about that, of course, on YouTube and Twitter, you get censored, and that's like what the signs of alarm that I see in this country. That anything should be up for debate, anything should be up for investigation, right? When the last 4 years, I've been sick of hearing news talk about the Russia's intervention in Trump's winning, and Democrats were fine talking about that for the last 4 years. But when the Republicans do the same thing, they are not okay with it. They don't want to even like mention it. That's the hypocrisy when it comes. Not because I believe that, because there's no evidence, not because I believe that actually Democrats took the election from Trump and Trump. So it's very different. I'm more like, I just want to know the truth, and if it happens that there was no big massive fraud, and I'm fine. Let's move on. But newspapers should report it as they were reporting on the Russia intervention. Like, they should be really fair. But what's going on in American media is they are just so not fair. They're so biased. I can't sometimes even like listen to watch news anymore. It's not a news anymore. It's like opinion piece. Every page is like op-ed, like every journalist like sharing their opinion on what's going on in your election, not just reporting the facts. And it's hard to find the actual news these days. And oh man, guys, what am I not done? Do you do your own blog editing and post them, Scott? Yes, I do. That's why there are so many grammatical errors. I don't have any help. King Trump. So thoughts on people in news who denounce capitalism and the rise of communism on social media call for a revolution? The thing is though, guys, I don't demonize socialist or communist. I believe in their good intention, as naive as that would be. I think most of people who are asking for socialism are not the demons. They are just really think, a lot of them genuinely believe that, we take this course of capitalism and afterwards we can go to true socialist, utopia. Everybody we thought we could do, and a lot of people think socialists, or communism didn't do the right thing in the past, and that's why it failed. And so many people want to do it differently this time. So demonizing both sides, like demonizing people who support capitalism as some kind of greedy people who doesn't care about other people, or like talking about socialism as some kind of thing, they try to wipe all us out. I think that is like what's really hard to see, that demonizing each other. I do believe though there are some people behind the thing, this like pushing Marxism ideology and communism ideas are really, really evil. They truly know what they do, and they are trying to gain their power in deceiving people. But the thing is, like, we still need to have a dialogue, right? That the thing I like about capitalism is that communists can coexist in capitalist societies, but when we go to communists, like when we go to socialism, capitalists gonna be executed. So I would choose rather a system that has way more flexibility, has a way more room for different diversity of ideas, than going to the one uniform idea where everyone has to be the same. So that is like what it is. Like so many students, like as I saw who went to university in America, so many of them were just, I think their intentions in the right place, but what they're trying to do is so dangerous. And I think it is our job to talk to them, and we cannot demonize them and telling them you're evil because you're communist. We need to believe their good intentions and keep having a conversation that makes all of us not comfortable, but that is the only way that free healthy democracy can exist, through the conversation, through having a freedom of speech for everybody, even though the ones that has a hate speech, whatever they say, everyone should have a platform to speak up. But what's going on in America is that that platform is getting limited to the people only who agrees with each other, and people like me constantly gets like censored. And like I talked about China Uncensored, right? Like they are keep getting censored, and we just laugh at like how on earth that are we allowing this to happen in America, called the land of the free. And sometimes you just can't believe this is happening in America, and nobody is alarmed about this trend, that we are losing our basic right to speak our free minds. Thank you, Casey. So will you one day do a makeup tutorials? Yeah, let's move on to light subject. I will someday talk about my skin, guys. It's so, every time like people say like, oh, why is your skin so oily? I tell them like, hey, it's glowy cold. But I will talk about that. Let's talk about other things. So TSM space, right? The US is socialist. Many of our practices are socialist and communist, but also we have capitalist practices like communist countries also too. I agree, like the welfare. It's from some part of socialism. I'm not denying that, and it's hard to put it like everybody's like definition of socialism is different, right? Like it's all about how we define it. And the socialism, whatever though, the clear thing, whatever the socialism pushing in this establishment in American politics is not right now, it's not something what we want, because what this country does, this or these big technology companies, these politicians are demonizing the other people. They are removing platforms that other people can coexist. That is the horror of socialism, where we have to a totalitarian state, right? That's where it goes. Usually socialism, we give so much power to the government, and it usually becomes the more absolute power. That is the danger of socialism. Every time when we try, right, the power goes to central and everything becomes central governed. And this is like people in America keep giving up their rights and everything and keep giving it to other people, and it going to the top, and now already we are this much affected from it, and there's no way to stop it. So yeah, because of that, America has a socialist aspect. I do think that freedom is decreasing. But the thing also, there's a lot of good thing about taking care of poor people, but it is all about how you want to do it. Do we want to give the every right to the government and let them steal things from other people and give it to poor people, or do we, as individuals that we trust in our power, like we want to do it as a civil society? So someone like who doesn't like socialism doesn't mean that I don't want to help the poor people or like improve the education or healthcare. And you just gotta believe in good intentions in the both sides. Anyway, so Eternal, I have a question about North Korea. Did you ever heard about disabilities, and if so, how common was it? I was disabled. Oh, healthcare. So my heart goes. Thank you so much for your question. Disability, of course, exists in North Korea too. But if you get disabled in Pyongyang, in capital, you get exiled, because they cannot accept imperfection in that system. They want everyone to be having 2 arms, 2 legs, look the normal. So disability bullied by North Korean system, and there's no such a thing called disability rights. I mean, as I told you, there's no rights for human beings. How they know even what disability rights is? I was shocked when I was taking trains, subways. There's like disability elevators, the bathrooms for disability people. I couldn't believe it. Like when you get disabled in North Korea, they mock you and they ask you to kill yourself, because even the ones with full body cannot survive and looking for food to survive, and they think it's not unfair for the people like that keep trying to live. It's a completely horrible situation. It's not because Northern people are mean. The system, never in our schools, they never told us what disability is, how to respect it, and the regime itself like punish them for being disabled, not by their fault. So I think that is something we need to also see, how many, the extent of this horror, how cruel this regime is. And, it all began with the ideology of communism and socialism, and it went this far. So I think North Korea is a perfect warning, right? When we give the power to the state and what they do with that eventually, they are never gonna have our interest at their heart. Power is such a great thing, and we cannot give it to that much power into the one party. And that's when North Korea made their mistake. They hoped that state would fix everything. They hoped the North Korean regime come in, fix the inequality in the incomes, in education, like inequality, healthcare, everything. They gave every right to for the government to fix it, and what they do, they screwed it all up. So just believe that government is not a god to fix any of that. It's our job to fix it as individuals. Thank you so much, Abish Nani. Thank you. So let's see. Get questions from the here. So do you have Nish? Do you have a best friends in America? Did you tell your experience to them? I mean, your North Korean experience. Did they support you or hate you? No, they love me. This is the country. A lot of people say this is like very racist country, but this was the least racist country I've ever been to. And people keep talking about like how the income inequality in America, but the one photo that shook me to the core was when I saw a photo. Actually, Obama was high-fiving or like fist bumping someone who was mopping the floor or sweeping the floor in White House, and I couldn't believe it. Like someone like that can, fist bump or even get to see the most powerful person, like the leader of this country. Like in North Korea, if somebody sin, like that means like you have seen the son of this universe. You like all life is guaranteed, like good success, and the process is so hard. Like they don't treat kids like as people. And I think like that, even though that is right, like there's multi-millionaire, billionaire exists in America, but they were the most common people that I've ever seen. They were not the people like that I saw in North Korea who were born with those elite status, pretending they were like they own the world. Even like what the news broke out, like McKinsey Bezos, right? McKinsey got now, she gave out like $4 something billion for the shortest amount of time. This is like, guys, America. Like when people hate billionaires, look at her. I'm like, it is remarkable. I mean, everyone should become billionaire, should aim for billionaire. There's nothing bad with the wealth, as long as they do it the right way. And even someone doesn't give up, it's fine for me, in my opinion. There is their right. But I don't know why at some point America is going to distract what I heard in North Korea, demonizing capitalists and demonizing people who succeed in business. Right? Those people creating jobs, opportunities, and flourishing our world. And I want to be in a country where there's billionaires. So many billionaires. I really want to be in those countries. Not the the idea of let's be equal means let's be poor all together and let's make the one state them being a god. That's what North Korea did. Like, because they hated the billionaires, they hated the landowners, they hated the capitalists. They took it all away and then gave it to the regime and Kim and made all of us barely starving and surviving on the ground. So I'm so glad to be in America where, like tons of billionaires are actually. So Nani, the last one, hi man, I'm your biggest fan. I'm from India. How much South Korea helped you in changing your mindset? And I'm living in Houston and the big fan of South Korea, by the way. Oh, you're in Houston or South Korea? What is your favorite South Korean TV show? And please watch. Please reply. Thank you so much. South Korea definitely hurt me a lot about hard work and and free market. I think that's what South Korea did to me. South Korea definitely didn't baby me, right? Like, but they didn't. They told me as soon as I arrived in South Korea, they say only the ones who competes and survives, they can survive in this system. It is all about competition. It's the number one thing makes us better, and you have to embrace competition. And North Korea, we don't have competition. Like when we born, the government already decides our future for us. But in South Korea, it wasn't like that. Nothing was certain. It's all depending on how you make your choices, how hard you put your effort into it, what you do with your time, depending on your future. If you play a video game, of course your future is gonna be not that great. If you spend that time to making yourself better, study, like do the things, you can achieve your goal. I am grateful for that wild competitive situation that I was suddenly got in, and I definitely, it was tough to survive in that system, but I embraced it. But now I'm coming to America where, right, the meritocracy is not a thing anymore. Like people don't want to take SATs and they don't believe in like test scores anymore. And it's all going to just reminds me of North Korea, like being in America is just so ironic. Like I'm in South Korea is definitely meritocracy. It doesn't matter like who you are, where you came from, what you went through. It doesn't matter I'm North Korean or not. Just all about how hard do you work. But then later, of course, there was like discrimination part came in. That wasn't that great. But I just hope that America doesn't lose that spirit of, pushing people and believing in them and keep getting better. Tom, thank you so much. So let's see. So many questions went up. I shopping for a gift. If North Korea was so many. So Juno asked, do you think the US should get involved with North Korea? Oh, yes, very much, because not just for North Korean people's sake. I mean, that'd be nice if America choose to get involved for that reason, but for their sake, because of course North Korea is teamed up with China, and it's the biggest threat to free democracy that we have. If America wants to preserve the lifestyle that we have, the way of life we have, we cannot let authoritarian dictatorship flourish, and especially when that dictatorship is threatening our own homeland. I'm soon to be American, and this is my country too, and North Korea is threatening our security. And I think for that reason, like America has every reason to solve North Korean problem than any other country. Because like if you look at North Korean newspaper every single day, they threat America. So, and they've been dedicating their whole entire existence to make the nuclear weapon that can destroy America. So it's not alarming you, but you should be aware of that threat and take care of it before it gets too late. So thank you for me. How do you like Souls? Just kidding. How would you love to watch voice K-drama? Thanks. Yeah, we can talk about fun stuff. I don't like we can just moving on to, so as I'm telling you more about my personal life, I drink few times a year, but I don't drink sodas because too like strong for me. I only drink wine. And whenever I say that, like my mom is like, "You're so spoiled," because they think like wine is such a delicacy. I have started drinking wine, but few times a year. I normally don't drink, but I drink it when I'm with my mom and few of my trust friends. And do I watch Korean dramas? I used to not watch it, guys, because if some of you watch Korean dramas, especially in the very past, right? Their plots are very same. There's a girl who's very poor, who doesn't have a good family. There's a guy, like what they say, King Ka, right? Really from wealthy family, falls in love with her. There's always triangle of love relationship, and I just felt like that was not very healthy mindset to have to live in this world in those kind of fairy tale mindset. So I didn't watch them. Even though when I was in North Korea, I loved it, and in China too, I love those South Korean movies. But as soon as I got into free world, the dramas were not actual life. But though my other secret addictions were like I do watch American shows. Some of them I watched. It's so embarrassing. What have I watched though? Bachelor and Bachelorette. Oh, this COVID made me to watch so many new things. So that is my a little bit embarrassing confession, guys. If you are watching Bachelor and Bachelorette, um, so why don't more North Koreans try to grab it as try to escape over Russian border? Is the over-the-top grief at both Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il funeral severe? Welcome to America keeps being out about the television. Thank you. So Russia, going to Russia, some people do, but the journey is very, very long. And those mountains they have to cross is like just so wired, and it's impossible to escape through Russia. I mean, there is a border between North Korea and Russia technically, but it's so remote, it's so cold, it's so high altitude. Most of them do not dare to go to Russia. So therefore, I think not many people do that. Some of them do escape through Russia, the ones who go to Russia as a forced labor. Then when they're in Russia working, they escape, go to Moscow and escape to other European countries and come to South Korea, other countries. But escaping through Russia is pretty rare. Those what is Kim Il Sung and Kim Jong Il, they are dead, right? But North Korean regime keep telling us that even though their body is dead, their spirit is with us forever, like Jesus Christ. I told you how they copied the Bible. So in order to remind the presence of Kim's, they didn't let the Kim's body to decompose, and they spent literally millions of dollars to make that thing, preserved. I don't know how to say that. Like, so, oh, this is the most disgusting thing. These two bodies in Pyongyang, in the former office of Kim Il Sung, they made some kind of castle, and when the foreign officers go to North Korea, they get to see Kim Il Sung and Kim Jong Il's body, and it's yeah. So basically, North Korea still has these bodies of Kim's alive, and Kim Il Sung died in 1994. It's been more like 27 years, 26 years, right? His body is still very much there, and Kim Jong Il too. So I think, that will be the first thing I will just get rid of when the North Korea comes down. Oh yeah, this is like how creepy it gets later, when they're so obsessed to making this God image perfect and reminding people how different they are, so their body even doesn't go away and can be like perfectly look like while they are alive. So Andreas, do you plan to fly only the North Korean dictator or dictator around the world? Do you plan to fight only also, you can put ads on the videos for money. Oh, thank you. I mean, for now, North Korea gets the least attention, unfortunately, because no one wants to upset China, the CCP in China. So that is why North Korea is on purpose keep being buried, and especially what North Korean women going through in China with those human trafficking, right? Like as I was told, Michelle Obama had no problem talking about those Boko Haram girls in other countries, but she wouldn't stand up again. I mean, for these girls in China being sold by Chinese human traffickers. And once North Korea problem is solved, of course there are so many people are suffering. Even right now, like in Belarus, right, there is a dictator, and I hope that Belarusians win the battle to be free from the dictator. So I always, I always look for other people who are oppressed, and they're all in my heart. So Dr. V, where in the world have you seen the best Christmas light displays? I find them quite peaceful and have seen some good ones around the world. Oh, I know, I love seeing Christmas lights. I need to go out more. This year, I did try to make my small Christmas tree, and it was really fun because in North Korea, like I didn't even know what Christmas was. So knowing what Christmas was and all the tradition, this is like my favorite time. Maybe the best decoration gotta be New York, right? Manhattan. There is the light show on the Saks building in Midtown. I took my mom and my sister a few years ago to see the light show, and it was so beautiful. But it was too many people, so I didn't get to enjoy it as much. So Jamin, hey, Yummy, I love you. Where do you think Kim Jong-un nephew Kim Mansoor is? Oh, Kim Mansoor, the Kim Jong-nam's son, the first Kim. No, I mean the first Kim Jong-il's son, he who was assassinated by Kim Jong in Malaysia. His son and wife and daughter was safely escaped, and according to what I know, CIA had them and brought them to America. And what I know is they're in the east coast of America. So Kim Mansoor is in a very remote area. People don't really care about North Korea or know much about North Korea, and lives there in a very free, private life. So, well, my feelings towards Kim family though is some people say like, oh, every Kim family should go away, but I think Kim Mansoor's case, he was so brave enough to speak out even as a child. When he was a teenager, he gave this interview with a European show. I will do the video on that someday. He was so brave. He called out his grandpa, like Richard Kim Jong-il, as a dictator, and what they were doing was not right for North Korean people. So I would definitely would make an exception. You know, I hate all Kim family, but I think he was exceptional person, and I'm so glad to see. So for me, it's all about forgiveness and reconcile. If even right now Kim Jong Un wants to change it, I'm so ready to forget about everything and give him a chance to do it. I At some point we have to let it go and move forwards, and that's the thing. If there's solution that we give like Kim Jong Un some going to Switzerland and give him some like a lot of money and like to give up the power, if that is a way, I don't need to punish Kim Jong Un. Like there is always option for him to choose a different path, and if he choose to remain in power but still trying to reform the country, I still think that is amazing. I really don't believe in holding a grudge forever. I think a lot of North Korean people also ready to let it go and let him do the new thing, but he just wouldn't. He just wouldn't do anything for the people, and he just wants to do everything for himself. So thank you. Let's see. Someone says like North Korea is the last free country. Long life to Juche. Oh man. Can you believe, guys, this kind of people exist? So Jad, it's like Jahzd. Right? What is your favorite American Christmas movie? I used to like romantic comedies, especially during the holidays, right? People fall in love. But as I'm getting older, I became more realist and less believe in love, unfortunately. So I don't watch as much Christmas. I love that. What was the English one though? There was something in English one I used to love, and the other day I watched Home Alone because this is something I watched while I was in North Korea. But guys, back then I did not know that Home Alone was based even in Chicago. I felt so honored to be in Chicago. Home Alone is such a popular movie in North Korea because also I think regime would went after this movie less like severely because Home Alone is not as much not political movie. It was about a child. It's a big comedy, so it was circulating a lot when I was growing up there. I watched it with my parents. Didn't even know what Christmas then, what Paris, what they were going to do. Just looking at the actions, it was just pretty funny how these young boys like punishing these two elder men. That's all I got. But now I'm seeing it. I got so much more context. They were going on a family vacation. It was Chicago's neighborhood and Santa, all of it. So I really loved watching Home Alone 1. Josh asked, thoughts on the Echo of Truth channel? I know. Isn't it a shame that YouTube is banning censoring a lot of my videos, talk about oppression and hardship to the people, and they are allowing this Echo of Truth, this North Korea's official propaganda channel to be on? Like, this Echoes of Truth or Echo of Truth, it's a North Korea propaganda channel. They are using this one girl who speaks proficient English and letting her to go to different department stores, shopping, and showing the prosperity of North Korea. This and it's all lie, of course. Like if that was the case, why more people should immigrate to North Korea? Like there's even though people trash America, everyone wants to come to America. And most people do not want to go to North Korea. That is like the truth. That just shows the real truth. And their channels keep circulating, and people keep telling me, they saw the echoes of truth and how North Korea is wonderful and better than America. And I'm like, please go to North Korea. Then we always can afford to send more people to North Korea here. I don't think I would welcome them to go to North Korea if they think freedom sucks. Really. Let's see. My typing doesn't that work well. So unique SFT. So first of all, gotta say big fan and have much love and respect for you. Thoughts on the Team Cast IRL podcast? Would you consider being a guest? Is it Team Cat? Who's that? Is that Tim Pool? Is that right? Tim Pool? I think I saw him on Ben Shapiro, and I do follow him on YouTube and Twitter, but I don't watch every episode of him. Actually, yeah. I'm open to talk to everybody, especially ones are controversial. It's there's no such a thing, the idea that we should ban. So I'm so happy to talk to anyone and learn from them and exchange ideas. I don't believe in labeling people and silence them. So that's the reason I love YouTube. There's so many new voice I can get. I can never get these things from reading New York Times or NPR, but so much different variety voices that YouTube had. And I'm just so concerned how YouTube is kicking those voices out. And it will be an echo chamber for them later. Everyone gonna be agree with them, and what they're gonna do after that. So, happy holidays. Do North Koreans know about K-pop? I read an article where I read Kim Jong was a big fan of IU from Red Velvet and met her. Yeah, North Koreans are a big fan of K-pop, but the average people, if they sing the K-pop songs and listen to it, they get punished, sent to prison camp, and even get executed. But Kim Jong Un, he also likes K-pop. He gets to meet the idol groups, but he punishes people do the same thing and admire the same thing. That's the hypocrisy of the whole thing. What we heard was Kim Jong Un was also a huge fan of James Bond movies, but he punished his people if they watch James Bond movies. This is a thing, like it's okay for him to do, but it's not okay for the people to do. So, oh sorry, I had to so watch a voice K drama. Would like to watch what's a voice K drama? Lihana for me, and but how did you be so strong, man? After all such hardship, I love you. Thank you. As I said, I do not watch K dramas. I watch their like what's it called, ye능, the reality shows. I like the reality a bit more as I'm getting older. I like documentaries. I like to learn things. So I like some movies, very artistic, but in general, I don't watch K dramas because the reasons I gave. And I think South Korea's, the art industry is so amazing, and it's so exciting to see what they have achieved. And I just hope that, like, if we had both Korea were free, right, we might have like North Korean pop. Who knows? So let's see, guys. Oh my god, we've been doing this over an hour. You should be all bored of me by now. I just wanted to do this to check on you, or I've been just letting you know how I've been so grateful to have your support with me on this channel and keep spreading the truth and speak my mind despite the censorship. And it's been amazing to see how much it grew and how I'm excited to see how far it's gonna go to. And I just really I hope I can take you all to my vacation next week with Evelyn, but I can't. So I'll try to update you when I'm on vacation. You always know that I'm always thinking of you guys, and you give me so much like support and give me so much strength. And where I find my strength is, I mean, really honestly, of course, I have bad days. I have days that are so bad, like I don't want to even get out of my bed for sure. And as I'm being in safe environment, I'm getting to learn about trauma more, and it's actually a weird thing. But also, the perspective that I learned from my life journey before keeps me going. Is even the fact that I can talk about trauma is a privilege, and most of people don't even know what trauma is. So whenever I think of my own trauma, it's like, oh my god, you went so far. Now you can even talk about I don't want to say like the first world problem, but the things that, in a way, that when I get bothered by the same things that my fellow American peers bothered by, it also sometimes a sign to me that I'm becoming normal, that I'm overcoming my trauma. When I went through so much hardship in China, the first thing I did to myself was like stop feeling things. And stop feeling things help you when you go through so much pain. But afterwards, when you are done being unsafe, in a safety, in a happy environment, not feeling things is a torture. Actually, it's a very hard torture. I was begging to fear things so much, and having actually my son brought me all those senses back, all the new sense that I never had before. It was such a healing journey to give a birth to a child and witnessing why when people say life is a miracle, it is a miracle. It's so valuable. Human life is so valuable. It's a miracle. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense how we are being created. Like when I was pregnant, my doctor told me the baby side was like sesame sized, like this tiny. and seeing him like a full human, it's just unbelievable journey. So think that that's it. Like my son, people like you guys, another human, my mom. I think I get inspiration from another human a lot. And yeah, just daily life things really helps me like stay grounded and keep going and keep fighting for the meaning in life. Charles, thank you. So I hope that Soju, that's a good name. Are North Koreans also sarcastic more than Americans? No, they are not allowed to be having jokes, right? So we can be very sarcastic, but we have to be very politically correct in North Korea. Otherwise, your life is endangered. So I like the sarcasm in America. At least it used to. But now there's so much political correctness controls, and people have to avoid so many different topics and words. And as somebody like me being in public, the topics that I can talk about and can think about gets limited and limited every single day. And that's like what's sad about it. I hope that you guys keep that alive, that keep being sarcastic, keep challenging new ideas, keep offending people. Seriously, like go offend people is fine. We should all be able to survive all of that. So I hope that I didn't offend too many of you today. If I did, just forgive me. I love you all, and I'm grateful for you. I'm always like indebted for your like so much like the power you gave me that I can have this voice. Without you, I can never do what I do and letting the world know what's going on in North Korea. I hope to check back in you after holiday, guys. I will let you know how things are going next week on my holiday with Evelyn. I wish you all a wonderful night, wonderful day, wherever you are. I just so hope to just meet you guys someday, hug you, and have some Korean soju with you maybe. 감사합니다. 오늘 참여해주셔서 너무 감사하고요, 여러분. 다음 시간에 또 봬요. Love you guys. Have a wonderful night. Bye bye. Thank you for joining in. Love you. Bye.